Most of the photographers and content creators do not lose their work because their camera fails. They lose it because their storage setup is weak. One card failure, one lost drive. That is all it takes to lose a full wildlife shoot, a macro session, or a client video. So, in this video, I will show you the exact storage system I now use for photography and content creation. From SD card to editing SSD to long term archive built around the 3 to 1 backup rule. 3 copies, 2 types of storage, 1 copy away from your main setup. Let us jump right in. For a long time, my storage system was too simple. Raw photos, video clips, edited exports, Lightroom catalog, everything went onto one single drive. And it feels fine when it works, until it does not. The problem is this: if your photos exist in only one place, you do not have a backup, you only have storage. So now, I split my workflow into 3 stages: shooting, editing, and archiving. That is what makes the system faster, cleaner, and much safer. Stage 1 starts inside the camera, your SD card. This is the most vulnerable part of the whole workflow because before you transfer your files, that tiny card may be holding your only copy. For everyday photography, macro, travel, and normal stills, I use a reliable V60 card like the Lexar Silver Pro. For heavier video work, longer 4K recording, or faster sustained writing, I keep a V90 card like the Pro grade. One pro tip: do not mix your cards randomly in the field. Label them. Keep them in the same slot every time to know which one is primary and which one is a backup. I keep both cards inside the PG Tech Create Mate because it works as both a card holder and a card reader. It protects the cards, keeps them organized, and means I always have a reader with me. After every shoot, the first rule is simple: do not leave your only copy sitting inside the camera overnight. Transfer it as soon as possible. And because this reader also works with USB-C devices, I can even check or transfer files using my phone if I need to. That gives me flexibility in the field without carrying the full desk setup. Stage 2 is active editing, and this is where a lot of photographers buy the wrong storage. They either buy the cheapest external drive they can find, or they buy a fast SSD but use it for the wrong job. My first useful drive is the Lexar Go Professional SSD. The reason I like this is the built-in hub. I can connect the card reader, connect the SSD, and offload files without needing a pile of extra adapters. For creators who work between a laptop, iPad, phone, or a desk setup, this is genuinely useful. For actual editing, I use the faster Charge SSD enclosure with a crucial drive inside. This is the drive I want for Lightroom catalogs, active raw folders, video projects, and anything I am currently working on. Then I also use a Ugreen SSD enclosure with an older Samsung drive that came out of my laptop. This is my bonus drive for active projects, temporary exports, or quick transfers. If you ever upgrade a laptop and remove the old SSD, do not throw it away. Put it in a USB enclosure and you instantly have another portable drive. That is one of the cheapest storage upgrades you can make. The key point is this: your editing drive should be fast. Your archive drive does not need to be. If your Lightroom catalog or active video project is sitting on a slow drive, editing feels slower even if your laptop is powerful. Now let us make this into a real backup system. The 3-to-1 rule is simple: 3 copies of your files, 2 different types of storage, and 1 copy stored away from your main setup. Copy 1 is my working copy, the fast SSD I edit from. Copy 2 is a second local copy, another SSD or portable drive with the same shoot folder copied across. Copy 3 is the archive copy. For me, that is the Seagate Ultra Touch 2TB hard drive. And the important part is this: it should not live right next to your main SSDs all the time. A second drive sitting beside the first drive protects you from drive failure, but it does not protect you from theft, fire, water damage, or losing your whole bag. So even if it is just another room or another drawer, separate the archive copy. That is what removes the single point of failure. Here is the exact workflow I follow after a shoot. Step 1. Remove the SD card and put it straight into the PG Tech reader. Step 2. Copy the full shoot folder to my main editing SSD. I do not import directly from the SD card into Lightroom. I copy first. Step 3. Duplicate that same folder to a second drive. Now I have 2 copies before I even start editing. Step 4 is to import into Lightroom or your video editor from the SSD, not from the card. That way, if the import fails, the original card and the second drive are still safe. One pro tip here: use a proper folder naming system. When you have thousands of files, clean folder names save you more time than you realize. Only after the files are copied, checked, imported, and backed up, I format the SD card, not before that. Now, if you are starting from zero, do not buy everything at once. Build it in stages. For the starter setup, buy one good SD card and a reliable card reader. This protects the first stage, getting files safely out of the camera. Add one good portable SSD for the next step. This becomes your active editing drive. For a beginner photographer or creator, this is already a big improvement over editing from random folders on your laptop. Then add a second drive for backup. This is where your workflow becomes much safer because now one drive can fail and your shoot still survives. Finally, add an archive drive like the Seagate Ultra Touch or use cloud storage if that fits your workflow better. For files you are not editing every day, you do not always need SSD speed. You need capacity, organization, and separation from your main setup. So the buying order is card and reader first, editing SSD second, backup drive third, archive or offsite copy last. Build the system slowly, just do not stay on one copy. So this is my complete storage setup for photography and content creation. The PGY Tech CreateMate keeps my cards protected and easy to transfer. The Lexargo Professional is my flexible transfer drive. The Charge NVMe setup is my fast editing drive. The Ugreen enclosure gives me a cheap extra SSD from an old laptop. And the Seagate Ultra Touch handles long-term archive. But the gear is not the main point. The system is the point. 3 copies, 2 types of storage, 1 copy away from your main setup. That is what protects your photos, your videos, your edits, and your time. Because these files are the reason the whole system exists. The macro shots, the wildlife moments, the travel clips, the video you spend hours editing, they are worth protecting properly. Let me know in the comments what your current storage setup looks like. Are you still using one drive or have you already built a 3-to-1 backup system? I will see you in the next one.